I just can't stomach the fact that I have to live the rest of my life without my mom. My daughter has to live the rest of her life without her grandma because a coward wanted to take her life.
That is a daughter in a Cleveland courtroom talking about the man her mother was about to marry. Amanda Williams built a whole life with her own two hands, and the person she loved is the one who took it away. How it happened is worse than you think. Before we go back to the beginning, watch 2 moments that tell you almost everything.
Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. Just wanted to come on here on my social media platform and say thank you so much to all my clients who have been rocking with me through COVID, through the transition. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. You guys are the real MVPs. Also, everybody who has supported Amanda the Stylist and my brand, you get the hair and scalp souffle, you purchase Charmaine Diamond hair extensions, or to my fellas, y'all get the beard balm. Thank you so much. You guys are most certainly appreciated, and I love each and every one of y'all. And have a great, happy Saturday and a blessed weekend. And thanks for rocking with Amanda the Stylist.
The first is Edwards himself on police video, explaining why he moved his own guns out of the house that night.
He had taken 2 of his own guns and put them in the car, saying, quote, "What I was worried about is that I was about to use the guns."
Now hold on to that and listen to the prosecutor tear apart the story Terrell Edwards told, using the one thing he could not argue with, Amanda's own body.
We know from the medical examiner that is patently false, because one of the shots he fired at her went through her neck and caused her instant paralysis. She could not have held that knife anymore when she was shot at that very moment.
He said she came at him and he had no choice, but almost nothing he said held up once people started checking. So let's go back to who Amanda really was and how the man who put a ring on her finger ended up putting 6 bullets in her. Amanda was a Cleveland woman through and through. She was born on April 18, 1977, and came up in a family that pushed faith, school, and building something for yourself. She took that last part and ran with it, starting in hair at 19 and eventually opening her own shop, a la Mode Styles in University Heights, where people around the city knew her simply as Amanda the Stylist.
Listen, just because I'm not posting about it doesn't mean I'm not working. Not all hustle is loud. I just like to move in silence and make moves in private. I don't need no validation from the internet, and I don't need no pats on the back. I'm not doing it for nobody except for my family and my future. That's all.
Okay, as you guys probably know, I sell premium quality bundle hair. It's called Charmaine Diamond. So Charmaine Diamond hair extensions, I'm going to show you a few of the textures that I carry that's in stock. So of course we have the straight. This is a Brazilian straight bundle hair. Great quality. You can use it for prontos, sew-ins, ponytails, whatever. Then I have the body wave curl texture. This is my #1 seller here. I use this for a lot of my installs. You can straighten it out or you can curl it, and it gives you great body curls. Then we're going to move on to the loose curl. So this gives you the maximum volume. So I do sew-ins with this. Their curls is popping, okay? This is the loose curl. Then I have the summer hair. This is the Italian curl. This is our summer vacation hair. You wet this, you can put leave-in conditioner and spray it. Amazing Italian curl. Then I have my second bestseller. This is loose body wave.
She was more than a boss with a chair and some clippers. She was deep in her church, the Word Church in Warrensville Heights, and she rolled with Delta Sigma Theta, putting in real service work like monthly support at a women's shelter. And her pastor thought so highly of her that he called her a spiritual daughter. Her people describe her as the glue, the one who lit up the room and made the holidays feel like holidays. She was a mother to grown kids and a grandmother to a little girl who was only 4 years old, and that baby knew Edwards as the only papa she had ever had. Now here is the man in the story. Terrell Edwards was a working guy who held down 2 jobs, one at university hospitals and one delivering for Walmart, and paid child support for 3 kids of his own. On paper, he had no felonies, and his lawyer leaned on that hard, but paper does not tell the whole story. They started dating in 2017, he moved into her home by 2019, and they got engaged in 2022. From the outside, it looked like a good thing, but behind the door, it was not. Back in November 2020, there was an incident where Edwards kicked Amanda in the face, and the messages between them after it are hard to read. At his trial, the prosecutor read one of Amanda's own texts to the whole courtroom. Listen to what she wrote to the man she would later agree to marry.
Every time I look in the mirror, I get angry all over again. To walk around looking like a battered woman is not only embarrassing but humiliating. To use your foot to do damage is one of the ultimate sign of destruction. And you complain about me being a strong woman. Well, if I weren't as strong as I am, I would have had you thrown in jail and exposed you to everyone.
He wrote back that he was sorry for what he did, and then, years later, on the stand, he looked at the jury and said he was never violent with her. Both of those things cannot be true, and the jury heard both. The last stretch of Amanda's life started with something small, the kind of thing every couple deals with. In early October 2023, she was in Columbus for a hair show, and Edwards texted her and did not get an answer. That turned into an argument, and Amanda hit back by taking him off her phone plan and cutting his service. He got a new number, but the anger did not go anywhere. By the time she got home on October 9th, the whole day turned into one long fight, and she kept telling him to leave. At some point, she warned him that if he stayed the night, he had better sleep with one eye open. Here's how that line came out at trial.
Edwards said she asked him to leave and started throwing his clothes out. He testified Amanda told him if he was going to stay that night, he's going to have to sleep with one eye open.
That line matters because it is the moment Edwards later pointed to when he said he was scared for his life. But watch what he actually did with that fear, because it does not add up to a man who felt cornered. Instead of leaving, Edwards took his own 2 guns out of the bedroom and put them in his car, and he gave 2 different reasons for it at 2 different times. In the back of the police car that night, he said he moved them because he did not want to use them. But the next day at the station, the story changed, and now he was saying he moved them because he was scared Amanda might use them on him. Those 2 versions cannot both be the truth, and that gap is the first thread the prosecutors pulled on until the whole self-defense story came apart. The only gun left in the house after that was Amanda's own revolver, tucked under the mattress on his side of the bed. So when the final blow-up happened upstairs around 11:30 that night, the one weapon within reach was hers, and he knew exactly where it was. Edwards had his phone out and he was recording. On the video, Amanda comes up holding a butcher knife and a long lighter, and she says she is defending herself. But the footage the jury watched shows her setting the knife down and walking towards him just with the lighter before she grabbed the phone out of his hand. He reached under the mattress, pulled her revolver, and fired 6 shots that left 8 wounds. Watch what the prosecutors told the jury about that recording.
They stressed that in the video, Edwards never asked Williams to put down the knife, never tells her he has a gun, and doesn't warn her that he's going to shoot her.
One of those shots went through Amanda's neck and paralyzed her on the spot, which means she couldn't have been holding any knife or coming at anybody after that. Her own daughter, Tyler, was in the house with her little girl, and Edwards didn't try to help Amanda and wouldn't let Tyler get to her mother either. He called the police himself and told them he had just killed his fiancée, and Amanda was rushed to the hospital and pronounced dead early the next morning. Now here is the part that set the whole city off. After all of that, Edwards was released without being charged, because at that early stage, his self-defense story was all the police had, and Ohio's laws give a lot of room to somebody claiming they feared for their life. To Amanda's family, her church, and her sorority sisters, that felt like a slap in the face.
They did not sit quiet. Amanda's pastor, R.A. Vernon, got behind the family, and it grew into a real movement with a social media push and people packing the courthouse wearing pins with Amanda's face, holding signs that read "Justice for Amanda." Her sorority sisters stood right there with them. Hundreds of people came out to her funeral, and the whole city started asking the same question the family was asking, which was how a man could admit he shot her and still walk out the door. That pressure did not just make noise, it moved the case. On November 2, 2023, a grand jury indicted Edwards on aggravated murder, felonious assault, and domestic violence. He turned himself in the next day and was held on a $1 million bond, and his trial started at the end of February 2024, coming down to the videos and the forensics. The prosecution's whole point was simple. This was not a man defending himself. It was a man who set the scene. Because he moved his guns, he left only her gun in the house, he recorded her, and he never once tried to calm things down or warn her. On the stand, even Edwards admitted there was a moment when Amanda was focused on his phone and not on him, and that in that moment she was not a threat, and he still fired. Listen to the prosecutor press him on the one thing he never did.
You just said you were de-escalating by telling her to chill out. Why didn't you de-escalate further by saying, "I've got your gun, please stop"?
Like I said, I didn't want to shoot her.
The forensics buried the self-defense story for good. The next shot caused instant paralysis, so the idea that she was still coming with a knife did not match her body, and police found the knife tucked under her with no blood on the blade, which the prosecution argued meant Edwards slid it there himself after the shots, knowing exactly where it was so he could point police to it later. There's even a rustling sound on the third video right after the gunfire, and the state told the jury that was the moment he slid the knife into place. After 4 days, the jury made its call.
Terrell Edwards was found guilty of murder and felonious assault in the death of his fiancée, Amanda Williams.
They cleared him on the top aggravated murder charge, but convicted him on the rest. And at sentencing on March 11th, the room was full of Amanda's people, and her family got to speak. Her brother, Joey Lewis, called Edwards a wolf in sheep's clothing and asked him the question everybody in that room was thinking.
How could you kill that woman like that, Terrell? Tell me, man. How did you do that to her, man? I just can't understand it as a man. I go through problems with my girl, but how a man can do something like that towards the person he's saying to love. He came to me, and my sister she put together our family reunion every year. And I walk up, and he pulled me to the side. As soon as I walk, he said, "Man, I want to ask you, man, can I marry your sister, man?" Showed me a ring. I gave him dap. I said, "Man, I'm rooting for you. I just had got engaged myself. And I feel bad. I feel like I'm responsible for a little bit of this."
The judge gave Edwards life in prison with a chance at parole after 24 years, plus another 9 years for the gun charges, and Edwards showed nothing, no words and no eye contact. Amanda's son, Tristan, couldn't be there in person, so his words were read out loud, and he talked about how the holidays are just an empty void now without his mother being the light in the room. The judge said plainly that the loss to this family and this community was immeasurable, and that no number of years could ever make it even. He appealed in 2025, arguing the court got it wrong on letting those old texts in and on calling Amanda a battered woman. But in February, the appeals court shut it down and kept the conviction in place. Here's why this case is bigger than one bedroom in Warrensville Heights, because what happened to Amanda is a pattern and not a one-off. In this country, guns are involved in more than half of all killings between intimate partners, and a woman is far more likely to die when her abuser has access to a gun, with black women carrying an even higher risk. Around 13,000 gun sales get blocked each year because of a domestic violence history, and even that leaves huge gaps. You don't have to look far for the other side of it either, the people who lived. One survivor, Marcia Bufford, was shot by an ex back in 2006 and made it out, and she's part of the same conversation Amanda's death forced back into the open. Amanda's own case landed right as the Supreme Court was weighing whether people with domestic abuse records should be allowed to keep their guns at all. And in 2024, the court said those restrictions could stand. Amanda Williams did everything the right way. She built her business, she loved her family, she gave back to her city, and she still ended up dead in her own home at the hands of the man she agreed to marry. The hardest truth in her story is that the most dangerous moment in an abusive relationship is often the moment somebody tries to leave, and that's exactly the moment she was in. If you're watching this and something feels familiar, don't wait and don't talk yourself out of it. Tell somebody you trust and reach out for help before it gets to a point you can't walk back. Somebody in these comments might be sitting in the same spot Amanda was, so if you know a resource that helped you or someone close to you, drop it below where the right person can find it. Rest in peace to Amanda Williams.
It's cold outside, it's dry outside. We need to put the moisture back into our hair, ladies. With that being said, we have our hair scalp souffle. All natural ingredients, all good for your hair. It helps it grow, it smells good, it keeps the moisture locked in. It gives it a great shine. For me, I have feeders, a nice little cute and convenient hairstyle right now. But my scalp gets a little bit dry, so what do? You can apply the hair and scalp souffle to your braids on your scalp. It brings the braids back to life. It puts the moisture back into your hair. It takes the white dandruff away, and it gets you all the way together.
Oh, and nothing else will satisfy my heart. Oh no, I need, come on. And nothing else will satisfy my heart. Yeah. Oh no, 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 no. Say, nothing else will satisfy my heart. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Nothing else will satisfy. Nothing else will satisfy. Nothing else will satisfy. Nothing else will satisfy my heart. Say, nothing else will satisfy. To him, pursue, pursue him, pursue. I'm pursuing you now. I'm pursuing you now. Cause we're ready for, we're waiting. Bow down. Yes, Lord. Falling on my knees. I bow down.
you join us in this moment?